This podcast contains adult themes, sexual content, and strong language. If you can't handle that, you should probably leave.
Hi, and welcome to Bustles and Bangers with your hostess, Rachel and Christopher.
I love it when you say my name.
Nobody messaged me. I had to message everybody.
That's okay. Sometimes they're your days. Sometimes they're my days. Sometimes there are days.
Yeah, but I don't like when they're your days. I want them to all be my days.
I feel the same. I feel the same way. I like all the attention, but when you get it, I'm like,
Yeah, but see, I don't mind it when you get the attention. I just mind it when I'm not getting the attention. As long as I'm receiving constant attention, you may receive as much attention as you'd like.
But if it gets shut down, then
But if I'm
stop.
not receiving, no, I still didn't mind. I just felt bad that I wasn't getting attention. So where's all my attention?
She took a picture of a copier for me.
Oh, sexy.
I was sitting on top of it.
Wow. That's hot.
It worked.
That's super hot.
Dang.
Well,
good, huh?
I just asked somebody how their day was going, and they said better when they hear from me. And so I was like, okay. So that was enough.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah, that was enough.
Very nice.
And I got I get to meet someone who's apparently fun on Thursday. And then I have somewhat of a type of date on Friday.
She's kind of pretty, too.
She's kind of.
No,
pretty. She's very pretty.
Very pretty.
Yeah. So we'll see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes.
I'm going to take her to like an emo punk rock show.
I think that she will love it.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit at home and play PlayStation.
I'm just recording
Hold
you
on.
so you can just...
No, that's cool. I'm just recording you, too. Look at me. Nice.
Oh, wait. Did I do a little... Sometimes when I laugh, I have little snot bubbles.
Yeah, you have little snot bubbles.
No. I wish you couldn't have seen that.
I'm going to need a recap on the book. I don't know what's going on.
I don't even know if we're supposed to be recording right now, are we?
Yeah, we're recording.
Oh,
dude. They told us to do it. This is
Somebody
it.
has to say, like, you're on. No one was like, I can hear you. It sounds great.
No,
okay.
it's on. Let's go. We've already...
Well, damn.
We've counted down and everything.
Oh, I did not know that. Okay. Well, so we are reading Dr. Wonderful by Charolett Douglas. Are you just doing stuff on your phone?
No, man, I'm looking at pictures of myself that you took.
Oh, my God. That is just doing stuff on your phone.
Yeah.
You're not even listening to the recap.
I am listening.
Hello.
I'm listening.
Recap.
Recap it.
All right. So anyway, welcome to another episode of Bustles and Bangers with your host, Rachel and Christopher Danger. But just FYI, I also go by Gypsy, so you can find us on our social media at either Bustles and Bangers or Gypsy Danger 317 or just Gypsy Danger or just Christopher Danger, and we're like on every platform. So I'm just going to go ahead and say now, if you are listening and have been listening or want to listen more, we would absolutely just love you if you clicked subscribe, download, share with your other friends who have a great sense of humor and like the kinky, smutty stuff. And then just find us on our social media and interact with us. I would just love it if you would come and play with us. So what we do here is we read some old vintage smutty little novels. Novels. I'm hungry, and what I want to eat for breakfast is novels. Like no waffles.
We have some waffle fries on the way, actually.
Yes,
They'll
yes.
be here soon.
All right. So Christopher never remembers what's going on.
Never remembers what's going on. I don't live in my past. I have to be reminded of what happened back there.
Yeah, I have to recap that Dr. Wonderful is about this young like, I don't know, not billionaire, but I guess like millionaire cosmetic surgeon is filling in for
he gives
his
boob jobs to everybody in this remote town, right?
No. Yeah. Okay, so there's this girl that lives in the mountains, and she's got a daughter, and she's trying to be homely, but apparently she's got a past that was very scandalous.
Scandalous.
Everybody in this town is her family, and typically she brings in this old doctor like once a year to treat the people of this like kind of cut off mountain town, but the doctor has broken his wrist. So his partner is in his place, who's a much younger, more handsome, wealthy, billionaire playboy cosmetic surgeon of the stars with boobies kind of deal. So apparently he was on a magazine cover, and it's all scandalous, so no one actually wants him to treat them. blah, blah, blah.
Because he showed his chest hair on a Vanity Fair.
Because everybody
cover,
thinks
some
he's been
shit.
sleeping with all these Hollywood women.
Okay.
And
well,
that's too scandalous for them.
what does that have to do with practicing medicine?
I don't know. Mountain people, man. This is
Mountain people,
wrong,
man.
wrong next turn. House on the left cabin. I don't know. So here's where we're at. We're on chapter 5. This is the second installment. So there's already been a bit of drama where she's thinking she's not going to let him stay at her house.
because he was supposed to like sleep on her bed or some shit.
No, but he was going to stay at the house because the other one would have. But now she's trying to put him up somewhere else. No one will take him. So she's going to put him at this like general store she owns, but nothing's ever been done to it because she wants it to be a hospital. But
Convenient.
blah, blah,
You're going to
blah.
put a doctor in a hospital.
Yeah.
All right.
So here's how chapter 5 starts, just to kind of ease you back into it. A little bit of
Bring me-
foreplay.
Hold on. Let me close my eyes.
Okay.
Bring me back in.
Startled,
Oh.
disoriented,
Ah.
and remembering Becca's warnings of Granny Warwick's ghost, Matt bolted upright and gazed around the room, seeing no one in the pale moonlight that streamed through the windows and dimly lit space. The fluorescent dial on the bedside clock read 20 minutes past midnight. All right, so what you don't remember is he laid down for bed because she was like, you can stay the one night in here, but otherwise you got to go, right? Okay, and she's got a daughter.
I need
Keep
you
that
to
in mind.
do a hard stop because I
What?
just seen something that's making me crazy. Have you noticed?
The star that was somebody drew on
no,
there?
dude, look at
What?
the cover on the back. So they.
What a nerd.
Did you notice this?
No, I guess I didn't.
All they did was zoom in his fucking face.
Okay, so
Put
there's
it
like,
on the
it
back.
almost looks like a picture that was drawn or a
Oh,
photograph of like a happy mom
It's like
with her
the
child.
author's photo on the back. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, Dr. Wonderful's handing this kid a lollipop. And that doesn't even look like a little girl. That looks like a little boy, but it's supposed to
weird.
be a little girl. So I don't know. But then on the back of this book, it says paging Dr. Dashing. And they've like zoomed into his face on the cover. It's not even a cover of a real person. It's not even a picture of a real person.
But they didn't use a different picture.
It's
It's just
just him again. Stupid. All right. You have to imagine this is what he looks like. That's what he looks like.
that's crazy.
He looks like a fucking nerd.
Yeah, why is everybody so impressed with this guy?
Well, his name's Dr. Matt. Well,
Dr. Matt?
yeah, or
He's-
Dr. Wonderful,
oh.
whatever.
How many
Uh,
people have we had named Matt?
Yeah, 2. Dr. Matt, a shaking voice whispered beside
Maybe
the
it's
bed.
the same Matt.
It's me, Emily. And that's her daughter. He spotted her and he's like, what are you doing up in the middle of the night? He reached for the lamp on the bedside table and she goes, no. She grabbed his hand. No lights. You'll scare them. And he's like, is something wrong? Is your mother all right? She's asleep. He's like, then why did you wake me up? So you can see the ghosts.
Oh.
Lizzie won't believe me, but she will if you see them. Ghosts don't exist except in stories. They're in the woods behind the house. I saw them. Come see. Taking a look and proving nothing was there would be the only way to dissuade her and send her back to bed, Matt's thinking, and he started to
He's
swing
gonna look
out.
out the door and be like, oh my God, there's fucking ghosts out there.
He started to swing out from the bed covers, but he remembered that he slept nude.
I can't come into your room, little kid.
No, they're going to go outside.
I
So
can't
he's-
go outside.
Well, he sends her out and he gets dressed. Okay, so I just wanted to tell everybody that because, now you know that he's a naked sleeper like you.
I am a naked
Yeah.
sleeper.
I'm at least a t-shirt.
I will even cook breakfast naked if you pay enough.
Or
And I take attention as currency.
yeah,
so
like
I love attention.
pet me and tell me I'm pretty.
Yeah, tell me I'm pretty.
He is such a good cook, y'all.
You have no idea.
Oh
I made
my God.
homemade Alfredo
I wish we
sauce.
were eating that right
It
now.
was so good.
All right, so they get outside and she's like, see? And he's like, I see, but they're just lights. Somebody's carrying them, but that doesn't mean they're ghosts. Somebody want to tell me what's going on? Becca, the mom, her voice demanded behind them, shattering the stillness and echoing across the yard. So she's like,
Those are aliens.
there was lights, Mommy, ghosts. There were lights, but I couldn't tell what they were. Does someone live back there? Matt asked. And she's like saying it's all wood for miles. She's trying to say it's probably hunters. He gets back in bed, but he's thinking longingly of what it would be like to have Becca in there to help warm him up.
Oh, my
And-
nude body is cold.
Skin on skin. So
yeah, if you're ever lost, that's the best way to warm up.
so Becca also could not get to sleep.
Oh.
All right. She kept picturing Matt with Emily in his arms, and the scene filled her with guilt.
Why isn't he her daddy?
Yeah. For years, she and Emily had done fine, first with Granny, then just the two of them, but seeing Matt holding Emily tonight had brought home with a vengeance the fact that her daughter had no significant male figure in her life. So we still don't know what happened to Dad.
Whose fault is that, Emily?
Well, again, we
Wait,
don't
what's
know
her
the
name?
story.
Is the kid
Becca,
Emily?
Emily is the kid.
Emily,
Becca's
it's your fault. You don't have a dad.
No, but we still don't know what the situation was, right? We don't know what happened to the dad, okay?
Okay.
So trying to find a comfortable...
He wasn't a wonderful doctor, and I guess she kicked him out,
Yeah.
huh?
Trying to find a comfortable position, she turned on her stomach and punched her pillow.
Dang. What happened if she's like getting into it?
This was all Matt Tyler's fault. Emily hadn't said anything about daddies until the door had a...
What?
Not the door, the doctor. I think I'm thinking
The
about
door arrived.
something.
You thinking about DoorDash? It's on the way, girl. Just hold on.
Yeah, okay.
Hold
sorry.
on, Rachel. It's coming.
Until the doctor had arrived. And Becca hadn't felt the stirrings of dissatisfaction, the sense that something was missing from her life until the too damn handsome Dr. Wonderful had shown up at her door.
Too damn handsome.
That's how I would describe you.
I know. That's how I get described when I walk through the little bag. Oh, they're damn.
You're
he is
too damn
handsome.
So even after resolving the issue, it took over an hour for her to fall asleep. Her daughter in the morning was still sleeping when Becca tiptoed down the stairs at dawn the next morning, and the door to Matt's room was closed. She was looking forward to a peaceful cup of coffee alone while she mulled over the
Instead,
best.
all she heard was this weird fapping sound from Matt's room and some light groaning.
Ew,
She
he's
thought it
thinking
was
about Becca.
There were ghosts.
Oh my God. All the ghost dicks around.
Yeah, there's gooey ghosts in here. This is disgusting.
Oh my God. You know what? You need to take a picture for your OnlyFans that's like just like a little ghost. That, and then you can do the other picture, the hats pictures. That you
Yeah, I'm going to do that. Don't tell anybody. That's my secret. It's going to make $1 million.
It's going to be cute.
Don't you say
I
on this
will
episode.
pay. I will sign
They have
up.
little mustaches and stuff.
I will pay the subscription fee. I want to see what you do. I want one to be like in a top hat.
Yeah,
for
dude,
sure.
like an Abe Lincoln. Hell yeah.
I wasn't picturing it to be like
No, I got you.
that tall.
I'm here to fulfill your fantasies, girl.
Thank you. All right, so before she reached the kitchen, a forceful knocking sound happened at the front door. When she opened it, 3 of the 4 Habersham sisters stood on her front porch with their large, bright eyes, fragile bones, and brightly colored dresses. They looked like a trio of colorful sparrows. "We've come to see the doctor." Hetty, 91, and the next to eldest said, "We know he's here. That's his car, isn't it? Here awful early, isn't he? Less he spent the night." So is it saying she's 91 years old? Hetty, 91.
Well,
So
she's
they're...
like, I really want this short-haired fat guy in slacks to come over and take care of me.
Well, they
Look at
thought it
this
was the
fucking-
doctor. No,
It
they
is the
think
doctor.
no. The front cover is who's Dr. Handsome,
That's Dr. Handsome?
Dr. Wonderful, and they're thinking the old
Oh,
doctor
they're
is
looking
here.
for the old doctor.
Right.
Okay.
All right.
They,
So
oh.
yeah. Well, but
So they're into like a little bit more risque stuff. I'll just find this old man. This wrist ain't broken yet. We're gonna.
but
break
also they. Oh no. Well, okay. So I think they actually know that it's the celebrity doctor, but I think most people knew of the old doctor guy.
Yeah,
But I
because he's been
think-
going there forever.
Hold on, because I think they're actually looking for him. So I messed up. My bad. Rewind that. That was a terrible rewind sound. What was that?
I don't know.
Okay, so no, because she's rolling her eyes at them because they said they've never met a celebrity before. And she's like, he's still asleep. And he's like, not anymore. Matt's deep, husky voice announced behind her.
I'm not asleep.
The 3 elderly sisters collectively caught their breaths. "Oh my," Hetty said. "You're even more handsome than your pictures. And so tall," Fanny said appreciatively. "We wouldn't have bothered you this early," Sophie said, "but we heard you were going back to California and we didn't want to miss you. Since this would be our only chance to see you, we brought you breakfast."
Now, would you help us with our pap smears?
Yeah. So I had an idea. I wondered if sometimes for like the next few books we start a drinking game.
Oh,
right?
I love drinking
because we
games.
love And so I thought we needed to drink at certain references that happen periodically through these typical books.
Mm-hmm.
One
Tell
could
me.
be when food is mentioned,
Oh,
because
yeah,
somebody's
love it.
always feeding someone,
Mhm.
right? Okay, and then there was another one in here I made
That's
a
what
note.
you do when you show somebody you love them, right? You just
Oh, when
feed
they
them.
mention being a book lover or mention a book within a book. When there's a book within a book
Is that like an
reference.
Inception thing?
Yeah, a book and a book and a book.
We're gonna go with
It's a
dream
book.
into a dream.
That has a mention of a book about a book.
You ever play a video game where you can play a video game? That's just crazy, dude.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So, yeah, I don't know. So, anyway, this would be that moment because they mentioned food again, right? Breakfast.
Oh, I guess it's time to.
Hetty held up a jar of golden liquid.
Oh, look at that.
Sour,
Golden liquid.
yeah, sourwood honey
That's not what this is.
from our own bees and buttermilk biscuits.
This is tequila.
Fuck yes, though.
I do like buttermilk.
If I
biscuits.
could have 3 women, and I don't care what age you are, well, I mean, be a legal age. Well, I don't know. Girl Scouts bring you cookies. All I want
that always
is
excites me, but it's,
all I
obviously
want
for
is
the
for you to
cookies.
bring me food. You don't need to come
Now,
in
when
my
I
house.
have women scouts bring me cookies,
Lady
I'm
scouts?
there.
Would they be man scouts if they're out scouting for men?
I don't want them.
No, I mean if you're a
Yeah,
female
I've had these
looking-
man scouts come to my yard.
no, I mean if you're a woman looking for men.
They come over topless with like a plate of waffles,
Oh my god.
and they're like, "I'm here with the women scouts.
Waffle
Care to make-
Haus. And it's like German
Care-
women with their breasts out.
Hell yeah, care to make a donation? In fact,
Absolutely.
I
I'll make
do.
a donation of a bunch of
You ever seen a gooey ghost?
Oh my god. It sounds like this. Oh.
What do you need on them waffles, lady?
Oh no. Okay, I can't do it because I can't watch that part of the porn. I
To a
can't.
shot.
Oh no! Wait, hold
To
on.
gooey ghost waffles.
To gooey ghosts. I love that so much. We should be a guest on one of the ghost podcasts now and talk about gooey ghosts.
Hey, Mike, do these windows open up on the 21st floor? If I have to yak, will it go all the way down?
All right, just if everybody wants to
Oh my god, my stomach's on fire.
understand us a little better. Not only are we gorgeous and funny,
Very fucking pretty, dude.
we're
both of
extremely
us.
cynical,
Very cynical.
but we're good people.
We both have dad issues.
Yeah, it makes us a perfect pair. No, so we really prefer to drink tequila. I do. Christopher, he tolerates it. He's here to party.
I'm here to party.
And normally I would like to have it dressed, and do the whole shebang. But right now I'm just straight downing 100% lemon juice.
If y'all could ever see our drinking setup on the show, it's pretty pathetic.
We need to take look. And if there is a tequila out there that will sponsor us, I will talk about you. I will.
We'll drink it every time.
I'll get it tattooed on me. I have a friend who's a badass, and she's a great piercer, and she works at a tattoo shop, of course, because a lot of times that's where you find the good piercers. And she I saw on her Facebook or something today, got a tattoo on her hand of the name of the tattoo shop she's worked at for so long, and it looks badass because she's covered anyway, so it just fits in perfect. So that was cool.
That is cool.
Yep.
Pretty awesome.
Yep.
All right, let's get on with it.
All right,
Are we
here we
still
go.
Chapter 5?
So, So these women start bugging him about his personal life.
How big's your hog?
Yeah.
Can we touch your hog?
Are you keeping
Can
company?
I pet your hog?
God. So are you keeping company with this woman? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? And he's just explaining maybe she's a lovely, gracious lady, but I don't keep company with her. They see them off. Goodbye. Get out of the fucking house. All right. So he says to Becca that she should have asked the ladies about last night. Did they know anything about people wandering in the forest? Is there a cult? Or do y'all do midnight sacrifices? What?
Yeah.
So, they go back and forth about that. I don't know why I highlighted it. Hiking trails, they're talking about rock climbing. You don't believe ghosts cause the lights. His brown eyes were mocking, and he looked entirely too appealing. Dressed in a beige fisherman's sweater and jeans whose fit accentuated his toned muscles. Not bad for a man with a desk job.
Skinny jeans?
That's not a desk job. You're peeling people's skin up and sticking plastic liquid packets into their titties and sewing it back shut and making sure they don't get infected. That's a desk job? The
I
fuck?
could do it. You don't think so? How hard could it be? How fucking hard could it be?
So in the Barbie movie?
I haven't seen it. We're going on Thursday, aren't we?
In the Arby movie?
Are you the Arby's movie?
Marby.
You told me we were gonna go see the Arby's movie.
I don't have the meats.
Are we really gonna go see that?
Yes.
All right, you've already seen it.
Yes, but you and Kendra's boyfriend we're forcing you to take us
Awesome.
as a double date.
Because you went with like 6 of my girlfriends.
Yeah, and we all, at least most of us, cried together.
Good.
It was wonderful.
I like it when y'all cry.
But in that movie, Ken tries to go into a hospital, and he's like, this woman says, "No, sir, I can't let you just perform a blah blah blah, like I don't know, like a major surgery." And he's like, "Well, can you just get me the da da da, or what about the blah blah blah? Can I talk to the doctor?" She's like, "I am the doctor." And he's like, just trying. So she's like, "You need to be a medical professional, blah blah blah." And he's like, "I see the doctor. I'm gonna go talk to him." So he like walks off to a guy in a white coat. It was just ridiculous, but that made me think of it. So I think you're gonna like the movie. It's funny.
Good. I hope I do. I really like movie snacks. So,
Yeah.
You know,
okay.
I'm a popcorn guy.
And you know what? This movie theater has tequila shots.
I like ices too.
I'm gonna put a tequila shot in your icy. All right, so they're still talking about it. Wow,
What?
Wow, Matt said behind her. "Did you plant all these?" They're walking out in front of the house, and he sees her garden. Right? Becca turned.
It's a bunch of weed plants.
Becca turned to catch him staring at the field in amazement. The sun had crested the ridge and reflected in the dew sparkling on the lush green grasses and the flashy yellow of the black-eyed Susans and brilliant white of the Queen Anne's lace. I'm having some Queen Anne's lace tattooed on me in the next 2 months. I'm so excited.
Mm-hmm.
So she's feeling like a man who appreciated the beauty of nature couldn't be a total jerk, right?
I thought you meant she was feeling like a man who appreciated nature.
Sorry,
you confused me.
I didn't mean to say it like that. So
I was like, she feels like what?
No, she wanted reasons.
That's fine, I guess. The Bible Belt's not going to be accepting of that.
She wanted reasons to resist his charm as she was having a difficult time doing that, right? And she's like, "They're wildflowers." And he's like, "Shouldn't you be watching for snakes?" And she's like, "If I make enough noise, they'll get out of my way." He's like, "Do you own a gun?" She's like, "For snakes?" And he's like, "For protection." So anyway, now he's all concerned. So she says she does have a gun. It's Grandpa's shotgun. And Granny taught her to use it. So these people are fucking gangster. Yeah. And so
she's surgical with that thing, huh?
Yeah, so they're walking through the woods, right? Looking for clues.
Oh,
looking for clues together.
What?
Yeah.
What
so
kind of clues?
To see who those people were with the lights in the
yeah,
thing.
the aliens that showed up.
Yeah, look at that. Becca pointed to a large patch of disturbed ground.
I knew it. Crop circles.
A few feet from left of the path.
It's werewolf.
Matt followed her direction, stepped off the path, and prodded the ground with the toe of his shoe. Somebody's been digging here recently. A shiver traveled down Becca's spine. Question is,
somebody was digging in the ground? Let me tell you something, Becca. People have been digging in the ground for a long time.
All for mysterious, terrible reasons.
A long fucking time, dude.
Were they digging something up?
Yeah, probably.
Or burying it?
Either way.
All right, so we have a mystery on our hands, gang.
What were they burying and or digging
Yeah,
at?
so Matt knelt in the damp leaves and plunged his hand into the loose soil.
No, he broke his fingers and he did that. It's trying to be tough. He like punched the ground, broke his knuckles.
I thought it sounded sexy.
I know. He did too until he smashed his hand.
The disrupted area of dirt was only a few feet
I thought
in
you were going to
diameter.
say his disrupted hand.
And as he dug into the turned earth, he discovered that the excavation had been relatively shallow, less than a foot. "It's not deep," he said, and no sign of anything buried. Becca knelt beside him, the fruity fragrance of her shampoo an intoxicating contrast to the musty scent of decaying leaves. So we don't know if they dug up something to take away, or I started
That's right. We don't know.
or I startled them before they could bury what they intended. Matt stood, dusted as much of the moist
But they
earth.
covered their hole back up.
I guess.
Oh shit! Somebody's coming. Fill the hole back in, then we'll leave. Shut up, dude. You're already full of shit. Like you're as bad as the Matt cop, dude. What was it? He was a cop,
Donut
right?
a day, yeah. He was a four horsemen of Canada or something.
He was the worst. He was the worst.
So, let's see. See any tracks? Here, looks like a tennis shoe print. You know, so they're basically like Scooby-Dooing up this shit.
Right.
All right. So they're
I feel like he's just
comparing.
trying to impress her, but
they're-
she's just like,
Yeah.
this is my backyard. I don't know what
they're
you're...
comparing shoe sizes and shit. So here's one of the moments we would have taken a shot, but we've already taken shots before we even got here. So we're not going to do the game today.
Look, we are always fucked up.
I know.
okay?
I'm just saying I'm not playing the game today, but I'm letting you know, had we been playing the drinking
If
game,
you ever see me in public, guess what?
I'm fucked up.
Fucked up too.
There's a book mention. Ready? All right. So just pretend to take a shot. So
we're pretend?
we're
Okay.
practicing the game.
Woo.
Cheers. Book mention. She says, so one of them mentions Shakespeare. He says, I prefer Spencer. And they're like, who? Robert B. Parker's Private Detective. He's my favorite. Matt thought longingly of Parker's 2 latest novels sitting on the bookshelf in his Malibu
2
house.
latest what?
Novels.
He's thinking about the ball bags. I was thinking
All
about
right.
his 2 latest novels.
Yeah.
Novelties.
He says, she says, I wouldn't have taken you. Did somebody just knock on the door to tell us food is here, or are you making noise?
I was
All right,
making
stop
noise.
it. I wouldn't have
I
taken you
can't
for
hear
a
that way anyway,
reader.
so maybe they did.
They just better just bring it on in and not knock.
I'm gonna
I
leave.
wouldn't have taken you for a reader, she spoke over her shoulder. Why not?
It's outside.
Somehow I picture you always in a crowd, hard to read with all that racket.
It's sitting outside in the hallway.
Well, go get it.
Okay, I'm going.
I'm gonna find our next spot. So anyway, let's see. And you're just gonna have to listen to me while you walk away. So he gets into this conversation about whether or not she's ever even thought of moving. Don't you sometimes feel like you're living in a time warp? She likes the slower pace of the mountain. Sunday papers make her grateful that she has such a safe and peaceful place. Okay. So do you have he's starting to ask her all this stuff. Do you have 911 emergency services? All this crap, right? Okay, like he's so concerned about her all of a sudden. Like you barely know her. You know her for one day, not even a full day, a night and a morning. Matt knows Becca.
Oh yeah,
He's
just
only
met
known her for a minute. So, because he's so concerned. Do you have 911 protection?
sorry.
Do you have a gun? Do you have, can
Who
you
doesn't have 911
can you
protection?
lip sync to Britney Spears CDs? He's really
I'm actually
concerned.
surprisingly good at that. kind
You
of
are really good at it. So she's like telling him, "Shut the fuck up. If I thought my kid was in danger, I would take precautions.
He's all
I'm
worried about her
fine."
kid now.
Yeah.
You have a baby. Do you know you need a gun?
Well, she basically is ready for him to get the fuck out of the house at this
I'm ready
point.
for him to get the fuck out of the
Yeah,
house.
she's like, here's Grandpa's toolkit. You can take it with you when you go. Because they're making so much noise.
Dude, hey, look, you want food?
So here's the deal, though. Aunt Delilah pops in after this chick has kicked him out of her house, and it's been like 3 days. And she's like, how's Dr. Wonderful? She's like, man, I don't know. He ain't been here for 3 motherfucking days. And
He left for smokes 2 days ago.
yeah, he
I ain't
hasn't
seen
brought
him
the
since.
milk back since.
The baby's starving.
And she's like, you just abandoned him? And she's like, he's fine.
I'm
He's
still
at the
here.
he's at the warehouse down the street by the dock, And then they start talking about some dude's sister has sciatica, and they really need the doctor to sneak in her house to
What?
check on her sciatica. I'm not kidding. They talk about needing to sneak the doctor into the house to check on this chick's sciatica because this chick is like the only person in this whole mountain town who doesn't know about this dude. But I guess the husband wouldn't let her get checked by him because he's hot. So they're going to
But
sneak
how
him
did
in.
he know that? Did the old doctor be able to help?
Well, yeah,
Or
but
was the old doctor hot too?
hot old doctor. Yeah, for sure. I don't know. Well, so by the time Becca parked in front of the feed store a couple hours later, she had convinced herself that her attraction to Matt Tyler was a mere passing fancy, nothing special about the man, she assured herself. And the fact that he
I
was
agree with her.
too handsome, too wealthy, and too self-confident, and too soon returning to the other side of the country lessened his appeal even more. Nothing she couldn't handle.
But I don't want that person. They're too rich and too hot.
Well, I guess you don't if you're not like living in that style. That's not
How would you like to be the next person where she's like, yeah, you're regular and broke. I like you.
I don't know. Well, anywho, do you want to know how he was dressed regular? He was dressed in only cargo shorts, work boots, and a tool belt slung low on his hips.
What? Stop. cargo shorts, and boots and a tool belt.
He's at the feed store fixing it up to make it a hospital.
Thought he was a doctor. Why is he doing general labor?
He's also a carpenter.
Amazing. He learned
He can
2
fix
trades.
everything.
Amazing.
He's also a vet tech.
Yeah. It's like, he also trades stock options in there.
All right. Dressed only in cargo shorts, work boots, and a tool belt, slung low on his hips, Matt worked in a broad swath. Swath?
A swath.
Swath of sunlight from one of the high windows. A thin sheen of sweat slicked his torso, making it gleam like sculpted bronze, and the well-developed muscles of his shoulders and arms flexed as he leaned across a makeshift workbench, guiding his saw through a 2x4. The man had obviously wielded more than a scalpel to acquire biceps and pecs like that. Becca thought. Of course, she reminded herself wryly. With his money, he probably had his own in-house gym and personal trainer. No wonder he looked like an action movie star.
They're
Unlike
implants and not real.
Unlike the scrawny, weathered, and worn men of Warwick Mountain.
Oh, that's cold.
Whose muscles had formed from the back-breaking labor needed to put food on their family's table. See?
That's admirable.
I think so, too. So she said, I just stopped by to bring you supper. I knew you'd hate that.
Man, we need to take a drinking game where every time somebody says the
Okay, that's a good
word.
idea. Wait, let me write it down.
That's been several of them now. I hate that word.
Okay, so
I've hated that word my whole life.
all right, so for all our listeners out there, we're starting a drinking game. Here are the rules. For every time someone uses the word supper, for every time someone mentions a book, and every time somebody mentions food, that's when you take a drink, right?
Just the supper one alone is going to get us hammered.
I don't have a pen in here. I'm going to have to mark it with my face makeup. Supper. All right. Okay. Damn it. I fucked it up. He took an appreciative whiff of the air. Smells wonderful. I've been eating frozen dinners for 3 days.
Wait, stop. He goes, this smells wonderful. I've been eating frozen dinners for 3 days.
Yeah, that's what he did.
And she's just like, yeah, okay. That's weird.
Well, he nodded toward the rear of the building. We can eat in the other room. Oh, I can't stay. But I wanted to show you what I've done. Becca hesitated. She still had to arrange for Lydia's house call. Well, maybe a minute. So anyway, then he guilt trips her into hanging out with him while he eats. And he shows her around, says this will be where I can take in patients. And this is where, I'll take a deuce and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So at one point, she tries to leave, and he's like, no, wait, eat with me. And she's like, I can't. I only came here to ask for a favor.
Will you come to dinner with me?
He pulls out wine to ask her to celebrate with him, but apparently she hasn't, drank a lot of wine recently, so she, tries to avoid it. Mm-hmm. And
lest she becomes a horn dog?
Yeah. Well, she gulps it down at one point. Oh, by the way, they're eating fried chicken, potato salad, homemade pickles, biscuits, and peach cobbler.
What is a homemade pickle?
You have made homemade pickles. Oh. So, every man's carrying one.
I got a homemade pickle.
So, he says that her favor is granted, but only if she'll stay for dinner. And she's like, you don't even know what I'm asking. And he's like, that's okay. I'll do whatever you want.
Oh.
Yeah, basically. Anyway, but then it gets off track, right? She doesn't actually get to ask for the favor. And he's like, I know the perfect solution. She's like, to what? He's like, your security problem. She's like, what? I didn't realize I had one.
Security problem? You're the one that keeps telling me I have a security problem.
He said, you need a dog. So then I'm like, there's 2 chapters, not chapters, but pages of him pressuring her and talking her into buying a dog. He's like, it doesn't even.
And then he's like, I have a dog for sale. I need to get rid of this dog.
He doesn't even expect her to get a big one. He's just like, any dog that'll make noise at the door or whatever is a good choice. He's like, I don't mean to put pressure on you. I just thought it would be a good idea. Well, she said, well, if you had time for a dog, what kind would you choose?
That's like you go into the hotel and be like, you guys need security cameras right here. All right.
No, you go in and be like, you need a A dog.
You need a dog. I really keep this place safer. There's something to just bark at the fucking door.
So, what do you think?
I love the idea of getting a dog, but I don't like how he presented it.
Well, but what do you think he picked as his choice? Because she said if you
A
had...
Yorkie, he's a nerd.
You think so?
Yeah, something small.
He said a full house. A golden retriever, a black lab, one of those fluffy little Bichon Frises that look like a powder puff, and a Chihuahua for starters.
No.
Yeah.
The Chihuahua's the only... That's because you want one. You
I
want a dog that's going to scare people awake? Just get a fucking pit bull, dude.
I was going to say get a Chihuahua.
They're the best.
I will not enter
They'll
a home
bark.
with a
When they
Chihuahua.
bark, they're going to scare the shit out of anything that comes close.
But
And
they're going to
anything-
love you. They're such big babies. Our pit bulls are such big babies.
It's just
Our
gonna love
oldest
you to
pit bull,
death.
our oldest pit bull is scared of plastic bags
And balloons.
and balloons and tall trees that wave at you funny. He does not like that.
They're sweet dogs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And people don't like them. So
I
it's a very good
absolutely
sign.
advocate to adopt a pit bull. Please, for God's sake, or whoever's sake, adopt a pit bull. You will not regret it. All right.
I agree with that.
So she's like, aren't you curious about the favor you promised me for having supper with you?
No, damn.
Yeah. Yeah. So she explains about the Jake's
What's
sister,
her name? Get out.
Becca. She explains about Jake's sister, Lydia, with the sciatica, right? And he's like, I'll be glad to take a look at her. And she's like, it's not that simple. He's like, oh, well, maybe not, but there's some new treatment. She goes, I'm not talking about the sciatica. What are you talking about? It sounds so silly when I say it out loud. Do you want to whisper it? I
want her to whisper it.
I have to sneak you into the house at Aunt Delilah's while Uncle Jake's gone to town day after tomorrow. Don't tell me. It's the Dr. Wonderful curse, isn't it? She says, people see you as exotic and dangerous.
Is that his name?
It's a nickname from the magazine he was in. People see you as exotic and dangerous, fascinating to talk about, interesting to meet, but they don't want you treating them. I know it sounds crazy, but that's the way the mountain folk are. Crazy? So anyway, he gets really shut down and hurt, right? He's like, so you mean no one wants me to treat them? And she's like, I'm sorry. Well, he shoved back from the table.
Why wouldn't he just leave? Like, all right,
Well,
bye.
he stood and glared at her. Then what the hell am I doing here?
Nothing. Leave. Bye.
Well, but it's not that simple. There's kids
Why?
with cleft chins and
They don't want him.
broken eyeballs and stuff. So he's like, if I'd known this, I'd be this useless. I'd have taken that South Pacific cruise. She's like, you gave up your vacation to stay here? And he's like, yeah, whatever, though, it's fine. Well,
He's like, no, I live. I live on it.
She thinks that this is just the wine, but she starts crying over this because she's like, how can I resist this guy? Because he's like genuinely nice. So that's a problem. Hey, he
just for all you
said,
fellers out there, being genuinely nice
it works.
is a problem.
Well, no, I was gonna say it's a way it works. No, hey, he said with a surprising gentleness that made her want to throw herself into his arms. It's not your fault. You're the one who's trying to help. To her added horror, the unwanted tears spilled over and splashed down her cheeks. But I didn't know Dr. Dwight would break his wrist, or that he'd send Dr. Wonderful in his place, or that everyone would be so blasted suspicious of you. Nothing's gone the way I planned. He said, you're too hard on yourself. You don't give yourself enough credit for all you do for these people. It isn't your fault. They're too stubborn to take advantage of it. Alarms sounded in her head, urging her to stand and run, but her heart encouraged her to snuggle deeper into the warm circle of his arms. Had to be the wine. She couldn't think straight, couldn't resist the musky, masculine scent of him, the unexpected comfort of his embrace, the obvious concern in his eyes. Talk about a bedside manner. Matt had it in spades. Suddenly she realized exactly how much danger she'd placed herself in. She could resist handsome. She could resist fame. She could even resist wealth. But what defenses did she have against a man who was so innately nice? She rose on wobbly legs, intending to leave, but only made it as far as the opposite end of the sofa before common sense demanded she sit again. She was in no condition to drive, especially on mountain roads. Maybe I'd better have a cup of coffee, she suggested. Tipsy? He asked. I must have drunk more
I must
wine.
have dropped a little bit of Rooflin in your cup on accident.
I must have.
Speaking of Dr. Wonderful.
Baby, it's cold outside. Yeah, so I
The
must
roofy
have drunk
Christmas
more
song?
wine than
I
I
love it.
realized. To prove it doesn't hold any power over you, he settled next to her. And she's like, don't tell me. You also interned as a psychiatrist. Anyway, so they start getting into like what's really bothering her. And she goes ahead to divulge.
He puts her on the couch?
No, yeah, yes. But I thought you meant a different way.
No. In a Dr. Wonderful way.
Well, I mean. So she divulges the story. So here's what happened. And by the way, she gets cozied into this couch, right? All right. She says Emily's father lives in Pinehurst.
Oh, it's my favorite place.
Then she's like, know why I became a teacher.
Because you're a slut.
He's like, so you could have the big desk?
Mm-hmm. And
she's like, no, my parents died in a car accident when I was younger than Emily, and Granny brought me to live with her.
Wait, hold on. You want to know why I got that big nose? Wait, yeah. My parents died. Oh.
Death. Okay, so one of the other drink moments is when someone says, like, something about a car accident or a death or whatever, and it's usually my parents died in a car accident. Every sexy book has parents dying in a fucking car accident. Every one of them. All right, so blah, blah, blah. She rarely left the mountain. She occasionally visited Ashfield. A third grade teacher position popped up in Pinehurst, so she moved there. And she's like, I don't want to bore you. And he goes, Rebecca Warwick. His remarkable eyes bored into hers. You're the least boring woman I ever met. So then she continues.
My name's not Rebecca. It's Beckleisha.
She continues. In January of my first teaching year, we had an appreciation breakfast at the local resort, and I ended up next to Grady Sadler, son of the resort's owner. So
Emily's have a trauma story.
Emily's dad is the resort owner's son. She was barely 21.
Emily's dad is the resort owner's son.
Yes, and she was barely 21 when she met him, and he, you know, he's wealthy and well known, and he takes her out on dates and buys her flowers and impregnates her.
Becca?
Yes.
Well, that's how things work.
But then he wouldn't marry her, right? And he kept delaying setting a date, and one day, a week before the school term ended, his father came to her apartment and offered her a check for $100,000 if she'd leave town and keep her baby's paternity a secret.
Up your game, dude. 100,000?
Yeah, that's not enough. Like, you're wealthy.
It costs $250,000 to raise a fucking kid, dude. Are you serious?
Like, at least make it worth my while.
Nah, dude, you're gonna have to come in. You want to keep something a secret? You need to cover the cost of the 18 years and then some. That's just child support.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I would tell him to go fuck
than-
himself with
than
that
we
one too.
thought. Yeah, well, she tore the check up and said fuck off.
And slap him.
Like, I don't want your money, but I also don't want you to have anything to do. And the only thing she knows about what happened to this guy later in the future is that he ended up marrying a daughter of a state senator. So, anyway.
Who cares?
She moved on.
Tell me what a state senator does.
She drinks some coffee and she finally sobers up. And she's like, I got to go. And he's like, do you want me to drive you? She said, no, thanks. I'm fine, really, but I do have to hurry. She rushed through the building, out the door and down the stairs. Matt caught up with her when she reached the car. He grasped her shoulders and turned her toward him. I haven't thanked you for bringing dinner.
Oh, shit.
No need. He dipped his head and kissed her.
He pushed her shoulders down.
Stop.
Put her on her knees. Undid his slacks.
You do that so much to me. I haven't. Okay, wait. He dipped his head and kissed her, stopping her from saying more. The pressure of his lips at first was gentle, and he tasted deliciously of coffee and a seductive masculine essence. Wrapping his arms around her, he drew her close until she fitted every contour of his body as if she'd been made to order just for him. Oh. The excitement of his kiss scrambled her brain, short-circuited her reasoning, and she lifted her arms, twined them.
Elon's sex bots.
Twined them around his neck and felt the jolt of his kiss all the way to her toes. What was she doing? Before she could react and pull away, he realized her. Oh, sorry, no.
It's funny how all these girls get kissed and they're like, oh, I felt lightning go through me. Like, how many times in your life have you been kissed?
Struck by lightning? He released her. Cupping her face in his hands, he gazed into her eyes, his own shining with a fierce brilliance in the moonlight. Grady Sadler, he said through gritted teeth, was an idiot.
Grady Sadler is my best friend.
I'll pick you up day after tomorrow for our visit to Lydia. Becca nodded, too shaken by the effects of his kiss to speak. Call me, he said, if you decide to get a dog, and don't forget to lock your doors tonight.
Because I'm a coming.
She was halfway to Aunt Delilah's, still shaken by his unexpected kiss and her reaction, before she realized she still was wearing Matt's sweater. The end of that installment.
We're done with the episode?
Yeah, that was it. That was it. That was the whole thing.
I'm really
So it's getting spicy. This only and something we need to think about is which installment of the book, what part of the book gets spicy. Some have started out
I always
spicy.
find it fascinating that these girls are kissing before they fuck.
What?
I've always fucked girls before I kiss them.
Shut the fuck
Name
up.
one.
You.
Name one. I've fucked every one of them before I've kissed them. Even you.
That was my fault.
What?
That was
It's
my
always
fault.
their fault. But it never fails.
You're so good though.
I have dicked down every girl before I've ever kissed them.
Oh my God, you're so good at it. All of it, both of them.
I don't know what to tell you.
Really, your ex-wife?
Yeah, we fucked before I kissed her.
What the fuck? Why?
That's what I do. I don't know.
Don't put your lips on me.
It's just I don't know. That's actually kind of a curious thing. I've never really thought about it.
Okay, well, the rule that we started out with when we were getting kind of spicy and freaky at the, when we started like easing into the alternative lifestyle, my kissing rule was because kissing you feels more intimate to me. Number one, when you get married, it's kiss the bride, not fuck it in front of everybody.
Yeah, but that's what we did.
And fucking's like fucking. So it's like I can have sex with somebody and it mean nothing, but kissing someone, to me, that means more. There's got to be chemical. There's got to be love. It's where I
so
feel
I
the
guess
pulse.
that's why I've fucked before I've kissed on every occasion.
Yeah.
If you want to make out, I'll be like, yeah, with my dick.
Put it in your mouth. Well, so
talk.
that's the not the last. That's the second installment of Dr. Wonderful by Charlotte Douglas. Not too bad, not too shabby. Kind of all over the place. It's a lot going on. But I'm interested to see where it goes. How do you feel?
I feel like he looks like a nerd. If he looks anything like he does on this cover,
He does.
Dr. Wonderful. He looks like a high school gym coach.
All right. So,
Like on Dazed and Confused, the football coach is like, "Hey, you signed your release form yet?"
oh my
That's
God.
who he looks like.
Yeah, it is. So, if you want to hear more about this Dr. Wonderful guy and hear what it's like when he finally takes his shirt off and whatnot, listen to another installment of Bustles and Bangers. You can find us on many different social media platforms. We would absolutely, fantastically appreciate you so much.
Fantastically appreciate it. In fact, if you do, just call us. We'll come have sex with you.
Oh, my God.
I'm just kidding. That's not a real offer.
No, well, applications are open, but we need a screening and an application beforehand.
Full panels.
So find our social media. You got me all messed up. Find our social media anywhere and everywhere, and find our podcast anywhere and everywhere. Please absolutely share this with your freaky friends. We
or
would
even
love
your
it.
normal friends that you want to like give
Make
them
them uncomfortable. Yeah. We're happy to make people uncomfortable. And then interact with us on our social media. We would love to hear from you. So thanks, but bye.
Bye.